Ow. Alright guys, today's video. So we got a sticky ignition lock here in our car. Cars get older, things start to dry out. Sometimes you can lube them up a little bit, fix them from outside by squirting some lithium grease into the key slot as time and turn a couple times. Sometimes it gets a little sticky on the inside. We're going to approach this like it's sticky on the inside today, and we're going to show you how to pull the ignition lock out and lube it up and fix it up. Also, this is the same process in case, like, you know, you got old keys get worn out, they don't really want to function anymore, they snap off in the ignition, you got to change the lockout to begin with. This is going to be the process, works the same. So for lubing it up, luckily your Amazon order just arrived with your 1,000 gallons of baby oil, and you're not going to use it all in your next freak off, so we're going to have enough left over to be able to lubricate this ignition lock. So first things first, let me get your position over here. Well, actually, let me show you what you'll need. Depending on if you want to remove this wheel or not, in the older style 3rd gen wheels, you may need a Torx bit. You will need a steering wheel puller. You will also need the frickin' steering wheel lock. You'll also need the steering wheel lock plate remover tool. I don't know why I bother trying to plan stuff out. You'll need that steering wheel puller, ratchet, socket. You'll need Phillips head screwdriver. You'll need flathead screwdriver. Did I bring those in here? I did. Phillips and flathead screwdriver. A couple of picks maybe, and obviously your lubrication down there. Save your baby oil for your alone time. So first things first. Now this is for the older style steering wheel, no airbag. If you have an airbag, first of all, I don't know if they're that effective being this old, but make sure you disconnect your battery before you even touch this at all so it doesn't blow up in your face. Okay, but you'll just grab your horn button, pull it off. Alright, untwist this little lock piece in here for your horn, set that aside. Okay, right here we got 13/16 nut. That's got to come off. Make sure that your lock plate is locked in to the actual lock on the column itself. We're going to break this bolt free and take it out. Now I'm using a ratchet for it this time. When I did it just previously, the lock tab itself would not come out from the steering wheel, so I used a impact gun, and if you use an impact gun you risk breaking your horn ring plate, which is what happened to me, so be forewarned. Alright, nuts in there. It's a 13/16 nut for this. Now you can, if you want to, remove the steering wheel. We should be able to pop this off, and I say should, without needing to remove the steering wheel, but for that we'll need the puller, steering wheel puller. If you haven't used one before, it's not that awful to figure out. You got the plate, you got bolts that go into the bolt holes that I showed you previously. In there you will have your threaded rod. That is what actually pushes the steering wheel off of the shaft in the column. And then here you'll have usually some form of a kind of an adapter to either sit over top or sit inside the stem on the steering wheel. So this is where you just need a few extra hands. Slide this in. You just thread it down into the steering wheel as much as possible. If you run out of room, just bumped you. If you run out of room, you may have to take the wheel off. I think we'll be okay. Let's see. Last time I removed the wheel, I actually think last time I used my different steering wheel puller altogether. Let's start the other one first. I'll grab my other puller. This one doesn't fit it. Sometimes you're lucky and you have multiple tools, because sometimes the ones that you have just don't work. And this is totally subjective to what your car is, as to what you'll need. Is this the correct size? Probably not. No, but it may be serviceable. There we go, wheel off. Now if you keep the whole wheel together and you don't pull the wheel off at one time, the whole hub will stay there. And you'll see, as I was talking about, I broke that horn ring previously. But that's okay. I yell loud enough. Actually, if you got a spare horn ring that works on a 84 Camaro, by all means hit me up. Okay, so now here, this is what I find to be the most pain in the ass part of doing this, and this is the lock plate. First of all, you'll pop off this dust ring. Push down probably little tabs up. By the way, here you go. You got your steering wheel lock plate. And this is the most challenging part, because you can push it down with your hands. You've got really, really strong fingers, and then try and pry this retaining ring up, but more than likely it's not going to work for you. So you need to use this tool, and you thread it on the shaft. This, and wing nut it down. Do this, and you tighten down the lock plate so you can get to the retaining clip. Okay, and the retaining clip needs to be pried up. Up all the way around until it gets up over the hey, my horn worked. Up over the little lip here that holds the ring in place. Once that's over, you should be able to walk it back. Like that. Okay. Loosen up the plate. out of the way. Now grab the ring and the lock plate comes off. Keep that together. I have the horn ring right here, and that activates by being pushed down and onto the spring here and making contact. So now here, let me show you. So you have a screw here, you have a screw hiding up top behind there, and a screw down here, and then there's also a screw up inside of the hazard lights. All those have to come out. They should all be Phillips heads, and I think I may have grabbed too big. I need to grab a smaller Phillips head screwdriver for the hazard lights, so one sec. Alright, I got various Phillips head screwdrivers of size, so let's see which one goes in there. Well, that one would work. Alright, unscrew that, set that out of the way, make sure you don't lose the spring inside there. Okay. Now we have screws up top here. Screw one. The only one you really need to move the stock out of the way for is kind of the top one. Screw two. We have screw three, and I think actually below this one there is yet another. There's another screw, but this one is just the screw to the stock and the plate, the little pivot arm plate. Keep that together, and then right below it there's one more. Get those three together. Okay. Now this, you just pull out. It doesn't need to come out all the way. Remember which way side out. There we go. And back in here, right in there, right there. Oh my God. Okay. Is a, I think it's a 10mm bolt. So let me get that real quick. I'm actually going to disconnect the battery while I'm out there. Shut up. About 10. That's too big. So you can use a, what's this? 8. That's a 8mm bolt with this kind of long shaft on it. Bit. So that, and then here, the ignition lock slides right out. So now that's out, you can jet the inside with some lithium grease, and also jet in here with some lithium grease. We'll go ahead and do that while we got it out. Now this would be the point where you just slide in the new lock, if that is what you're doing, replacing it. Slide that back in. Make sure you got the notch here. The notch goes down because that's where that bolt slides into, with the bolt with the shaft. Snug that down. Now go ahead, slide this back in. Now there are a lot of wires that go to the back of it, so just make sure nothing's pinched on anything as you slide that in. That one. And that one. Now you can flick that down out of the way. Tighten that one down. Flick that back up to the middle. So now we have the arm, the pivoting ball, and our little arm here that we need to get repositioned. And there is right here, I don't really have a light on right here, but there's a little kind of a indent right there for the ball to slide into. So pivot that ball into the slot there. Stock up. Down in there. Hold that in place while you do it. Snug down. Check function. There you go. And we're going to put the hazard light switch back on there. It's locked down, off, on, off. All right. So that, now we have the horn ring to go back on. Your lock ring. And when you're in here, if you want to, you have your locking stem. It may be advisable to sit there and lube that up while you're going. Now normally, if you don't break the lock of the horn ring, the guy did this tab will, there'll be a part that sticks out right through this slot here. Obviously mine's broken. Again, if you have a replacement one, let me know, reach out to me. I'll take it off your hands. So I can replace that. Put the ring back on here before we put this back on. Holy hell, shut up, bird. Right. Now you take the clip, push it back down. Get out of my garage! Go! Oi! Leave! Go! Got a stowaway. Spread the clip. Like I said earlier, this stupid lock ring is the most hassle. Once you get that over that lip, just push it down until it locks in. Dude, seriously. Get out of here. Well, I had to chase a bird out of my garage now. Oi! Now I wish I had my horn hooked up still. Got that free. Just kind of rotate that back a little bit, because wherever the wheels are sitting is if the lock is going to line up for it or not. All right, then you just kind of put your tab back on here, or I'm sorry, your dust shield with the tabs. I think I got this turned sideways. There's an alignment tab on it. That goes right there. There's an alignment tab right here that sits into that ring right there. There we go. Now that's on. Right now, go ahead and put your steering wheel back on. We've got to take our mover off first. Freaking uninvited guests. Alright, depending on how you parked is going to depend on the position of your steering wheel as where you want to put it back. I mean, if you were turned all sideways, your wheel's going to be turned like this, so it would be advisable to mark where your wheel was sitting before you took it off. Mine, I pulled in straight. Oh, there we go. Let's put the nut back on here. Put it down. That is off ever so slightly because it wasn't locked, so let me pull this back off. And put it over one spline, because right now there would be this horn ring tab sitting through here, which lines up through right here on the steering wheel. Okay, I'm just going to pop that back in there so it rattles around as I drive. I use that as my sight to line it up. All right, there we go. Put your nut on. Take a ratchet. Just tighten down the nut to pull your steering wheel back on. check the key. There you go, unlocks, wheels good to go, nice and straight. There you go. Then you would take and you pop your horn button back down inside there, assuming that it's not broken. The horn stock tab, and then you push your horn button back on. There you go. That's how you do it. That would be how you either change your ignition lock out, or you pull the lock out to lube it up to put it back in. Aside from a few specialty tools, you would need a puller and the lock remover tab, unless you got some really strong hands and you can function getting that clip off at the same time. But other than that, just puller and those are only special tools you need. All right, guys, that's how you go ahead and do it. Avoid freak offs, watch out for baby oil, and yeah, all right, like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. Thanks for watching.